here, Sloof at the VMworld 2014. I'm joined by the CTO of VMware, Ben Fathi. Ben, welcome, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay, great. So, you became CTO of VMware recently, I think in January, but you were working at VMware longer?
Yes, I've been at VMware for about 2.5 years now, and I managed the vSphere engineering organization for the first couple of years, and as of January, I'm the CTO.
And vSphere is really the basis, the solid foundation of all the products we see these days. But what a tremendous amount of new releases just became available. Isn't it incredible what's happening in such a short time notice?
Yeah, it's great. We've had a lot of innovation going on all around the company, and you saw some of the announcements earlier today. We talked about OpenStack integration, the VMware integrated OpenStack release. We talked about working with Google on Kubernetes and Docker on containers, and bringing that whole new container DevOps model to our cloud and to our vSphere environment. We talked about Evo Rail and Evo Rack, hyper-converged infrastructure. We talked about the vRealize management suite and the cloud management platform. And we talked about vCloud Air and the vCloud Air network and all of the new great services that we're offering there, including pay-as-you-go, vCloud Air on demand, as well as database as a service and many other new exciting services.
What was one of the things that really stood out for you?
The thing that really stood out for me is I personally have been spending a lot of time on containers over the last 6 or 9 months. We've had a large team of about 50 or so people from around the company, from each of the different divisions and different projects coming together and trying to integrate containers in a more cohesive, integrated way with the rest of the VMware stack. And working with our partners, I mentioned Docker, I mentioned Google, Pivotal has been a key part of this with Cloud Foundry, our PaaS layer, as well as CoreOS. Several other companies have come together, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to bring all of these new innovative ways of developing applications on our platform and providing the same set of services that we have today around VMs, also to containers natively.
Okay, so the containers is a bit of a misunderstood concept, I think. Is it like a virtual machine that can run anywhere, or are there different layers in there?
That's a great question. So containers are a virtualization model that sit on top of the operating system. VMs abstract the hardware from the operating system, so the OS and the applications on top are packaged together in a single VM package, or a VMDK if you will, and that can travel anywhere you want. So there are two things here that VMs give you. They give you abstraction from the hardware, and they also give you a nice compact file-based packaging format and make the VMs themselves and the apps portable. What containers do is they take it one layer higher in the stack. They sit above the operating system, and they abstract the operating system and the runtime environment from the applications. So VMs and containers are really not working against each other, they work really well together. And what we're showing in the demos that you'll see tomorrow and in part of the announcement and the work we've done with these companies is that you can get all of the benefits that you get from VMs today, whether it's microsegmentation with NSX, whether it's persistent data storage with virtual SAN, whether it's disaster recovery to the cloud. All of those services can also be provided for containers. So again, it's really about containers and VMs working together to deliver the best experience, both for the developers who want to just be developing their application and not worry about the underlying infrastructure and OS, and also for IT, so we can provide the same control and capabilities that you have today and the security and compliance, so you can get the best of both worlds. That's what Pat was talking about with the power of and. We have containers without compromise on VMs.
Right, and on top of that, it's super scalable and you can run it anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll run on physical infrastructure, it'll run on bare metal Linux, it'll run on your laptop in Fusion and Workstation, it'll run on vSphere, it'll run in the cloud on vCloud Air or other clouds. And that's the great part of having a hybrid cloud strategy, is that our management suite really allows you, and NSX and all of the technologies we have around it, really enable you to build an end-to-end solution regardless of where the application is running and make it seamless for your employees, for your IT personnel, as well as for your customers.
Right. That's great, that's awesome, awesome information. So on a more personal level, I've seen comments on Twitter when during internal conventions you stood out and asking engineers very difficult questions, and also when you answer emails that you are very elaborate and that they can be like 2 or 3 pages.
6 or 7 pages.
So you're trying to educate people, you have a broad knowledge of Cisco and Microsoft because you work there. What's your angle? Why are you so focused on technique?
So I'm a developer at heart, I'm an engineer at heart. I've been in this industry for over 30 years. I have worked at a lot of companies, from Microsoft to Cisco to Silicon Graphics to MIPS, you name it. And at every one of those companies, I've built operating systems. The only thing that's changed now is instead of building an operating system for a single computer, we're building an operating system for the entire data center and for the entire cloud. So I see a lot of synergies between what I've done in the past and the technologies I've worked on and my personal experience as being a kernel developer and a system developer and building a lot of distributed systems. A lot of that experience comes to play in what we're trying to build here. So yes, I do send out a lot of emails. I do challenge our engineers in meetings and in email discussions to try to think outside the box. Don't think about just what you're working on today and adding a few bells and whistles to it. That's the status quo, as Pat was talking about earlier, and we need to break that. We need to think differently, build things differently, and that's why I challenge people. Yes, I send long memos because I have a lot to say. It usually doesn't fit into 140 characters, so I can't tweet it often, but I do blogging, I do write a lot of memos, and I interact with a lot of engineers trying to challenge them, hopefully to build a better set of products for our customers.
Great to hear. Well, many thanks for the interview, Ben.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and hopefully all of you will join us tomorrow for my keynote, where I'll be demoing a lot of the innovations that Pat and Carl and Bill talked about today.
I'll be there.
All right,
thank you.